highlighting my favorite props to go with the tacos for today. Let's get into it. All right, going to be highlighting some props that I like to go with the tacos that are available. By the time this video is posted, there should be about 30 minutes left of this taco, and then you guys should be able to pair it, hopefully, then with the evening taco as well. Let's go ahead and get into my favorite props. Now, I do just want to mention the props that I was going to be on earlier today are still going to be ones that I think are going to be favorable. We see Kevin Love still at 22.5. Once again, he only had 16 minutes in the last game and still put up 21 points. Okay, I think there's a good chance that he gets more minutes. I don't know exactly whether Jimmy Butler being potentially banged up, Jimmy Butler's questionable. We all expect him to play. But does that lead to maybe more minutes for Kevin Love? Is he more of a defensive liability and you can't have him on the court when Jimmy Butler's not on the court? Or do you need the offensive production out of him if Jimmy Butler's a little bit banged up? It's kind of an interesting take. We don't exactly know which way that would go, for sure. And then an interesting thing, Mitchell Robinson's fantasy score actually went down. It was propped up at 28 earlier today. Now it's at 27.5. So this is going to be a good number for us as well. One that I think we can certainly roll with. And then if you guys watched my MLB props video as well, you saw that I was liking the Starling Marte fantasy score prop because, well, if you look at the projections based off the average sportsbook odds, and then also look at the projections, they were both higher than 7.5. That was one of the best ones that we were getting. So let's go ahead and look at the data board to see which props we can go ahead and pair potentially with those tacos. Let's start with NBA. And so just looking at the NBA board, let's go ahead and look at it. We are seeing that, strangely enough, today, whereas yesterday it seemed like they were all favoring the under, all the projections are suggesting that it should be over. Now it's not tight, or it's pretty tight, so it's not exactly one that we'd want to chase. Let's go ahead and just look at the board, the PrizePicks board. All right, so looking at it, we are seeing that we are getting one very good prop here. Okay, so that is one that I think we can go ahead and use. Minus 142, 54% chance to hit. And we also are getting another one, hits run RBI as well. We're getting that at about a 54% chance. So two pretty favorable ones in terms of MLB props. I'd be perfectly fine using those two. And guys, I already mentioned how I really do not like betting on total bases, just in general. Okay, but we are getting one that is pretty heavily favorited. And we can see it's projecting it over. The average sportsbook line has it set at 1.3 for total bases there. So not terrible there for Jake. If you guys want to go ahead and use that, you could as well. And then I just want to look at some hitting based props as well. Here's a decent one we can see there. Brian Reynolds we could potentially do for over 8 PrizePick points. We still see Starling Marte as a decent one, but we can see the average Vegas line has actually went down to 0.2. That was higher earlier today. So maybe not one we exactly need to go out of our way to play. We are actually seeing that Brian Reynolds would now actually be the better one, the one that we'd want to be using the most right now. And then let's just check out any pitching props. You know, this one's not terrible for Bryce. It's probably just not one I would want to chase too much though. All right, so then just looking at it, once again, we are getting a very favorable prop line with this one right here, minus 142, a very good number there to give up 2 walks. So not a terrible one. We could go with that one. And then it does kind of feel like we're being forced into kind of the NBA props that I like, but I'm fine with these ones. Once again, with Julius Randle expected to sit if he plays, that does hurt the Mitchell Robinson prop. I want to make that very clear. Could he still get there? Yes, I would say the likelihood of that happening does get reduced. It'd be like if Joel Embiid played last night, then obviously Tobias Harris would have had a much more difficult time to get there. Usage goes down and whatnot. The production goes down. So it is very much predicated on that. And that's kind of why I was waiting on this video to see if we would get some more NBA news, and we just haven't gotten it. And then Kevin Love, I kind of expect him to get more minutes. I don't know. That seems strange that he only had 16 minutes. Kevon Looney, I'm fine betting on him to get the over there. Kind of expect that to continue. The minutes and the production that he had. Now, yes, he's going against 80, going to be a more difficult matchup. And then for what it's worth, like Austin Reeves' fantasy score is favored to get over as well. Not by much. And like, I don't love it either. And then looking at Bam as well, you could potentially use him as well. But it does kind of seem like, you know, it still kind of feels like we're forcing some props in there. So then the last one I'll go with would be Michael Wacha over 4.5 strikeouts. Just gets a good matchup going against Cincinnati, team that in away games is the worst in terms of strikeouts given up to opposing pitchers per 9 innings. And over their last 3, they've been terrible as well, giving up 12.96 strikeouts per 9 innings as well. So once again, just a quick reminder on my strategy here. I like to just take the free money that PrizePicks is giving us these days. Okay. And what I mean by that is if we can just get, let's say 2 out of 3 PrizePicks tacos to hit, we should be fine. As long as 6 total props hit, we are going to be profiting. And that's what I mean. Just take the free money. That's going to add up over time. And obviously some days you're going to have, most weeks you're going to have more than 6 by chasing the favorable line. And so what I like to do is I like to just pair the taco up individually with these ones 5 different times, okay? That way we are creating a nice, safe bankroll floor for the day. All right, that's all for the Taco Tuesday video. Hopefully you guys have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.